came on immediately again. Maybe they fixed whatever the problem was that was causing it to not come on immediately. It's been coming on immediately since the last update. I get the wrong episode title here. Episode number. No. Took it out with the exact same number in. There we go. That's better. What are we doing? We're on our way to Brunwick still. I just had the game up. It just loaded okay, and then I closed it so I could open Opiate. What are you trying to open? Windows is trying to open something. Stop trying to open things. No. Open the game. Game is already running. Why are you down there? Didn't I move that onto the other monitor? These icons are down there again. Oh, Windows moves stuff from one monitor to the other sometimes. What was I saying? They interrupted me. Oh. I just had the game open because it was annoying me that Quen was showing the orange-yellow, which is what it is for Geralt. And does Quen have a color in the novels? I don't remember. The barrier that Avallac'h has around him does have a color. It lit up blue when it got hit. That's why I changed it to blue for him. And it was just reordering the mod. I put the mod back up near the top, and boom, Quen's blue again. And then I found out, which I didn't know, the trees, which are all supposed to be red and orange and yellow, because I modded them to be that way. There's like 4 or 5 different mods. I took different DDS files from different mods and merged them all together into one mod. Because there's a mod that makes trees red, there's a mod that makes trees orange, there's a mod that makes trees yellow. There's a mod that makes pine trees red, pine trees orange, or pine trees yellow, or pine trees light green. There's a mod that changes oak trees to red, orange, yellow, brown, or light green. Every different type of tree has a mod that changes colors, but each mod changes one color, all trees. And I wanted a variation of colors, so those mods, I have all the link. There's somewhere on my profile there's a panel that has a link to all the mods, and it has a link to all these different tree mods. And if you were to use those mods, it's not going to look like it does in my game. I took each of those mods. This one changes trees red, this one changes trees orange. I took each of those mods, and I took this type of tree I want red, and put it over here in a new mod that I made. This type of tree I want orange, I put it over here in this mod. This type of tree I want yellow, this type of tree I want light green. So I merged individual pieces of all of those mods together, and thus you see a wide range of colors in my game. So if you want to have your game look like mine does, you need to know how to use mod merging stuff. I did it with Woven Kit, and you need to know how to do that. Anyways, the file that merges those mods was one of the ones when we renamed all the texture files the other day, which I did in one of the episodes, so you saw me do it. And that was because series hair wasn't loading, and we couldn't figure out why series hair was a texture file, so I just took all the texture files and put them to the bottom. What they should have gone in the same order. Because all I did was they put V. Usually I put Z, but I didn't want them all the way completely to the bottom. I had a bunch that start with Z. I could put a V so that they were above the Z list. So they should have gone down in the same order. That's why it confused me. Why did our red trees disappear? Why do we now have green trees? Well, we missed one of the texture files. That's what happened. I thought I had renamed all of them. I didn't. RCT, which is... What's that stand for? I don't know what it stands for. I know the T stands for texture files. I think the R is the mod maker's first letter of the mod maker's name. I can't remember what C stands for. If you go to Nexus and search RCT, it'll come up. Because it says it somewhere in the title name. It says like the title, and then in parentheses after it says just RCT. So everybody calls it the RCT mod, and I can't remember what the full name of it is. Anyways. RCT, I hadn't renamed that one to be loading very high, so it ended up not in the list. I had, so all the texture files started with 0, and then they were like 01, 02, 03, 04, so that I had them the order. They would always load the order, so, because some texture files are in, some mods change the same texture files. Like there's one that changes the logs, and then there's another one that changes the logs, and then a third one that changes the logs. Well, I want this one to change the logs. So I gave that one higher priority, and then the others underneath. So what had happened was, when I renamed and ordered all these things, RCT was loading at the bottom, and I didn't realize I forgot to rename it. I forgot to reorder it. So it was loading all the way at the bottom below the other texture mods, which I didn't want. I want that one to be higher priority than the HD graphics mod. That's the one that changes a lot of the brickwork and stuff, and I like the brickwork in RCT better than the brickwork in HD graphics. So I always have RCT loading higher than the HD graphics mod. Well, because we reordered everything, all of a sudden RCT is now at the top. Because for some reason when I moved them all to the top to begin with, I forgot to add RCT to the list. So RCT for maybe the last 10 episodes has been at the bottom and not been loading properly. Well, you've heard me complain several times that some of our texture files they don't look right. And I couldn't figure out why. That was why. But when we reordered stuff yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday. Because before I went to bed, so it was 3 days ago? 4 days ago? What day did I go to vet? Whatever day it was, the day before I went to the vet, we reordered everything. And so now RCT is on the top because, again, it didn't get reordered and everything went below it. That's when the trees changed. I didn't know RCT is editing the trees. So that's why our trees look different, and they were all, I was like, what is wrong with our trees? I was talking about it in the last 2 episodes. They weren't the vanilla trees, but they weren't the tree mod that had all the reds and orange and yellows. So I don't think, have I ever opened up RCT to even see what it edits? I don't think I have. And we're at the herbalist.
Avallac'h, this was his name, was the elven mage who had helped Ciri flee the hunt, then hidden her away.
I'm trying to remember what it. We're not that far from Renwick now. If we've made it to the Halfling Herbalist. The beta says, I don't want to go to bed. I'm going to sit over here and under the light. Well, the catfish is not doing good. He's stressed out still. It's Raphael. He's always been more sensitive. He was the one who was really sick when I got him. We don't know how old they are, so we have no clue how old these fish are. They were wild caught, and they were injured, so they couldn't be returned to the wild. They were caught in Peru? Or Ecuador. Where were they caught? I got all the information when there's a local fish place. And the guy that owns it, you've heard me talk about it before. The guy that owns it is from China. He's a Chinese immigrant. And he doesn't speak English good. He can be quite difficult to understand sometimes because his English is really bad. But I go in there all the time. And when he was in China, before he came to the United States, he was a koi carp breeder, and he raised koi carp for professional shows. If you don't know, koi carp are the Rolls Royce of the fish industry. People pay tens of thousands of dollars for one of these fish to then put on display and take them to shows, and they win all kinds of money for it. It's people think they hear about like the AKC dog shows and stuff on TV. It's just like that, only it's with fish, and these fish are insanely expensive. If you look it up, koi carp breeding championships in China. That's what this guy did. He raised champion koi carp. He's been in America for about 20 years or so. He's the guy I got my ranchos from back when I used to have ranchos. That was how I met him initially. And I had eels at the time. I always had eels. I don't have any eels right now because I have these in the same tank. They're in the eel tank. We had a serious system malfunction a few years back.
You humans have unusual
What had happened? The filter broke, right? And we weren't home. We were gone. We were gone like over the weekend, and the filter had malfunctioned. It shut down. It stopped, and it had been off for like 10 or 12 hours, and all the eels died. That was the last time I had eels, and I had planned to get more eels. And this guy, if you want weird fish that you can't get anywhere else, he has them. So I was going to get more eels. We had to redo the tank because once that has happened, you have to completely recycle the tank, put a new tank up and everything. Start over. So once we had a new tank, same tank, but now recycled for a new setup, I intended to get more eels because I've always had eels. I've had eels for like close to 60 years now. And so this is the first time I haven't had eels, which that's why people call me Eel Cat. That's where that nickname came from. Nobody has eels. I raise eels. I've always had eels. Big ones sometimes. And Eels and cats. Always have huge tanks full of eels and cats hanging around me. So that's where the name Eel Cat came from. People just started calling me the crazy eel lady and then the crazy cat lady, and it got combined to Eel Cat. And so when I go to any pet store, that's what people know me as. They're like, there's the eel woman. There's that woman that has eels. So that's what this guy knew me as. And so we were going to get more eels. And we went in, and it's something that you can't just go into a store and buy eels. They don't have them. You have to order them. And they're not cheap. You're talking about a fish that's $2,000 or $3,000 each. So it's quite expensive to raise eels. And so we was going to get more eels. And this guy, he can get pretty much any fish. Yeah, if you wanted to get a big killer whale, he could probably get one for you if you had to set up for it. And so we went in, and I was telling him, we had this huge issue where the tank just shut down while we were gone, and all the eels ended up dying, so we didn't have them anymore. I had 13 eels at the time that happened. And so he knew. He's like, wait, you don't have anything in this tank right now. I've got a fish set up that the average person isn't going to have. So I'm capable of taking fish if, there's nothing in the tank currently. I'm capable of taking in fish that most people couldn't take. So he's like, wait, the big tank that had the eels in it, you don't have anything in it right now, it's empty. And I'm like, yeah, we need to get more eels because the filter crashed. And it killed the eels. But then he's like, well, I've got these fish. They just came in, I don't know what to do with them. I do not have equipment for these fish. There were two big catfish. And he's telling me a shelter had them. They got an animal refuge. Was the Humane Society had them? Some animal refuge thing had them, but they didn't have a way to keep them. So they brought them to this guy. Because in Maine, if you want anything to do with fish, he's the guy. And people come from all over New England to do stuff with fish with him because he's the expert fish guy. Everybody knows him because he's this famous koi carp breeder from China who raised all these really very high-end fish. But you see, we got our trees back, and I think I've reordered them wrong because some of the trees are the wrong color. But we'll fix it later. I have to do a lot of reordering of the load order in order to get these trees to load the way I want them, so we're okay with way there for now. Anyways, he's got these two fish, and they're in a tank that's way too small for them. There's this regular fish tank sitting there, and there's these two fish in it. And he is very, very particular about who he gives his fish to. I've seen him so many times. People will go in there and they'll be trying to get a fish. There was one woman. He won't sell them. If you don't have the right setup, he is not going to sell you this fish. I get in there. We was there one day, and there was this woman. They were getting a pleco. tank. It was a common pleco. Well, a common pleco, if you don't know, they get 40 inches long. This is a 4-foot long fish. This is a fucking big fish when they're full grown. He starts asking her, what type of tank? You need minimum 200-gallon tank for this fish. This is a massive fish. But in the tank, they're babies, so they're only like 2 inches long. They're fry. And she's telling him, yeah, we got a 10-gallon tank. That fish is going to be a whole foot longer than that tank within 2 months. It's going to be bigger than the tank. And he explains this to her, your fish is going to be dead within 3 months just because it's going to outgrow the tank. It is going to get bigger than the tank you have. And she says, I don't care. And he gets mad and he starts arguing with her. He's having this big fight with this woman. Well, she's got a little kid with her. The kid's maybe 8, 9 years old.
Look at those cats. Remind you of anything?
She starts screaming at him. She says, you're destroying my kid's life. How is he destroying her kid's life? She goes into this total meltdown. She says, my kid has autism and he wants this fish and I don't fucking care if this fish is going to die in 3 months. He wants this fish right now and I'm getting this fish right now. He ends up throwing her out of the store. He tells her leave. I'll not come back. He didn't say he's never going to sell her any fish. But I've seen him do that so many times. He gets in fights with people all the time. If you do not have the right equipment for the fish you want to buy, he will not sell you the fish. Absolutely refuses to. He wants to make sure that he cares about his fish. And so when he realized they're trying to find a home for fish like these, nobody has tanks for these types of fish. And so just trying to remember, did they come from Peru or Ecuador? Somehow they were in both Peru and Ecuador, but I can't remember if they started out in one and ended up in the other, which way it was. They came from the Amazon River. They got caught in a fishing net, and they had a fishing net dragging along behind a fishing boat. And so these fish got caught when they scooped up a lot of fish. Well, they're an endangered fish in the wild, so once you've got them, you can't put them back in the wild. They have to go to a zoo or something. You have to find somebody. I don't know how they ended up in Maine. Somehow they were in Peru or Ecuador first, and then ended up in the other one. And then somehow they ended up here in Maine. The Humane Society, I think, had them. They rescued them from somewhere and brought them up here. Well, the problem was, it's a pair. There's a male and a female. And their fins on their side, you get their body, and they've got the fin on their body that they swim with. The one that goes on their side of the, not on the top, but on the sides. The one's right behind their ears. They were side by side, and the fin of one was locked into the fin of the other, clamped together like they were holding hands, and they were clamped together so tight you couldn't pull these fish apart. They were holding hands. They had their fins were clamped together. Well, this type of a catfish, you've pictures on my profile so you can see what I'm talking about. This type of a catfish, they have huge thorns on their side. So if you tried to pull these fish apart, they would sling their backs around and slam you with their tail. They'll rip the whole side of your hand right open. They're just like razors. They're as sharp as razors. So they'll just slice your hand all apart. They're considered dangerous fish because of that. But they're thorned catfish. But they're peaceful. They don't attack. But they can do serious amount of damage if you stick your hand in and attack.
Avallac'h gave me
So it's not only is it a fish because it's big and requires a specific type of setup, they're also considered a dangerous fish just because you could end up needing serious amount of, stitches and surgery if you stick your hand in the tank and startle the fish and they slap you with their tail. So nobody could get these two fish apart. The male, his whole side was ripped open from where the fishing boat had caught him. So he was messed up really bad. And he probably wouldn't have lived. So he's got this fish. He doesn't have a tank big enough for this particular type of fish. He's got two of them. And whatever size tank you need for a fish,
Avallac'h gave me a choice.
if you are going to get two of that same fish, you need a tank twice that big. So if one fish takes a 50-gallon tank and you want to get two of that fish, you need a 100-gallon tank. So now you had the trouble of, this is a really big fish that requires special setup. Well, there's two of them. And it's apparent that they're a bonded pair, a male and a female, and the male is really badly injured. His whole side is ripped open, and he's got horrible fungal infection and bacterial infection because just half his side is rotted because it's this big huge wound. And the female won't let go of it. They've got their fins clamped together, and if you tried to take them apart, they're both slapping their tails at you and gonna rip your hand open. So he's explaining this whole thing. They've got these fish. This one's injured really bad, and they don't know what to do. They don't have any place to put them. And I showed up there because all my eels died, so I've got this big tank that these fish will fit in, and he realizes you are already set up for, and who raises eels? Not many people. There's a reason. You stick your hand in an eel tank, it's gonna take your hand off. Eels are extremely dangerous fish. When they open their mouth up, they have many, many rows of teeth, just like sharks. If you stick your hand in there, they are going to eat your hand. And if an eel gets big enough, eels can get big enough to eat people. They get big. Eels get over 30 feet long. That's the size of my car end to end 3 times.
Many times. We came very close to catching
So I'm used to dealing with really big fish, and I'm used to not only dealing with really big fish, I'm used to dealing with what's considered dangerous fish because they like to bite and attack. And I have, right at that moment, an empty tank that is ready to put new fish in it, specifically big fish.
Unless you wish to come on.
So he's telling me all this stuff. Can you take these fish? We don't know what to do. I know you know how to take. I had never heard of these fish before. I had no clue. How do you take care of this type of a fish? I've never had this type of fish before. I'm like, you know what? They came home. Ben was there, and Ben's listening to this whole story, and Ben's like,
If they do, I'll bite back.
Ben's telling this guy, he says, I know her. He said, these fish are coming home with us. We had like 6 months trying to get him better. Raphael and Rachel's their names. We spent so much time trying to get him better, and for a long time it didn't look like he was gonna live because he was injured so bad. His whole side was just ripped right open. It was right down to the bone. His bones were all sticking out. It was awful looking. It's very, very difficult to treat fish once they're injured that bad, and he had infections, he had parasites. It was awful. He also had ick, which was another thing on top of everything else. It's a disease fish get. But he eventually recovered, and most of his skin grew back. His whole side's all scarred up. There's pictures of him on my profile on Twitch. There's pictures of him on my website. So his whole side is all scarred up and awful looking, but he recovered. survived all that. And I've just had those 2 fish ever since. They've also got a little baiter in there with him. Swims around. He stays around the top. So when you look at the tank, the catfish always stay hidden in the bottom. There's big logs and stuff in there. They usually stay in the logs. Or they bury themselves under the gravel.
Us both.
So when you look in the tank, it's got this massively huge tank and a little teeny beta swimming around in it. And betas are the little fish you always see in the little tiny bowl. Those ones that are in little cups in the store. So you don't think of a beta in a massive tank like that, but the beta basically has the whole tank to himself because the catfish never move. They stay buried in the bottom until I feed them. They come out when I feed them and then they go back in. It's the only time you ever see them. Which is how you can tell if there's something wrong with the tank. You are going to know with them because you never see those fish. You look in the tank and it looks like I've got this big tank full of water plants. Even though there's 2 giant fish in there, you can't see them. They stay hidden so well. Unless you disturb them, they don't come out. I've had them. I don't remember what year I caught them. I've had them for years.
Let's leave this place.
And I have no idea how old they are either. We no way to age them because they were wild caught. So no clue what their ages are. That type of fish can live 60 years or more. So they could be quite old. No way of knowing their age.
Will you believe me?
But they're used to me always doing stuff with the tank. So they come out when I feed them. And their hand temp, I don't know that anybody else could put their hand in the tank. I said their side is all thorny looking spines all the way down the side. And they're going to rip the skin right off your hand, and you're
Nice.
definitely going to need a lot of
Jumbo.
stitches if you get hit by one of their tails. However, because the male was injured so bad when I got him, he required constant every day. I had to take him out of the tank. I had to have a second quarantine tank. Second quarantine tank had to be filled with his medicine, and it had to be filled with aloe vera.
And you know I shan't let you refuse.
That's how you keep a fish alive when they've got an injury like this. Fish have like a slime coat on them, and when they're ripped open like he was, there's nothing covering it, and you can't wrap a bandage up. Like if you were injured, you can bandage your wounds. You can't do that with a fish because you've got to put them in the water. So every day he had to be taken out of the tank and put into the quarantine tank, which was filled with the medicine and the aloe vera, which coated him. So he got used to me every day reaching in the tank, picking him up, putting him in here, taking him up, putting him in there. And because he was sick and too weak, he couldn't do anything to fight back. And the female, their fins were clamped together. So I couldn't take her, separate her. I had to pick up both of them. So I had to pick up both fish out of the tank and soak them together in the medicine and put them back because she just would not let go of him. One of the fish constantly have to be moving in the water. They will die if they are not. And her keeping her fin clamped with his fin meant that she was still swimming around and he was moving in the water because she was swimming and just dragging him around with her. He would have died otherwise. She actually kept him alive quite well. They said this is a bonded pair. This is it's a male and a female, and they're very much a bonded pair. So they both ended up getting tame because Daly had to pick them up, and they got used to me picking them up. So I can just reach in the tank and pick them up. And so they'll sit there. And I put the food in. They'll come right over to get the food. And I can pick them up and hold them if I need to move something in the tank. I can pick up the fish and they just sit there while I move them around. They don't attack or lash out with their tail like they normally would. They do know the difference between people, though, because if Ben gets near the tank, they're gone. They immediately bury themselves right in the water, in the ground. You can't see them anymore. So they know one person to another. So I doubt anybody else could put their hand in the tank without getting hurt. Why did we just start talking about that? Oh, Beta was over here on the other end of the tank, Matt. Raphael has always been sensitive because he's the one that had that injury. So he's just sensitive to everything since then. And we had a filter malfunction, which is unfortunately a common problem. And that's what killed the eels back before. And the filters wear down over time. The motors run down. The pumps wear down. The problem is you don't always know it. You don't realize it because the way filters are made, everything's like sealed up inside this plastic case. There's never a reason to open it up and take it apart and look at your risk breaking it if you did that. So you don't. And so your filter will work for years. It should work 10 or 12 years. They usually work about 10 years, and then all of a sudden they stop. And that's what happened the other day. It was like 2 days after Christmas that it happened, where the filter just all of a sudden stopped. The motor was still running, but the pump wasn't working. So we ended up with an issue with the tank, and it had ammonia spikes. Now the fish are stressed out, and we're dealing with lots of water changes while we work through the ammonia spike to get it back down. That's a huge process. It's got Raphael stressed out. So he's hiding over in the back corner of the tank. I put a blanket over half the tank so he's got a darker spot than usual, so the light in the room doesn't go into the tank and stuff, because he's nervous and hiding, plus the ammonia has made him sick. The Beta doesn't like it.
Do you swear to stay on
He's over here on the other side of the tank that's not covered up, threatening the blanket that's covering up the other side of the tank. Where'd our horse go? Was our horse even here? I'm just thinking, I don't remember seeing our horse at all.
Fine.
Also, look at this weird light we got happening. I don't like it when the light does that. It does it around noon, yeah, it's almost noon. It does it around noon, where when it shines on the grass looks white. Oh, you are so badly fatigued. I did not notice. Let's go back up to the...
Like he looks more serious, more brave somehow.
Is he an herbalist or no? He's an herbalist, right? The halfling herbalist. Go back up here, back to his house and meditate and look for our horse. We had our horse with us when we stopped here. Are you going to make it back to his house? I can see his house, but look at his house. He's so close to pass out. We'll climb over the fence. There we go. We had our horse with us when we came up here, and
For example, one such passage will open soon near where we
it
are,
seems to not be
fortuitous.
here now.
Between this noble edifice and the butcher's yard.
There's a flower up there, but we need to meditate. We're not going to make it if we don't. His health is so very bad off. We're gonna take a nap on your bed. That's what we're gonna do. Can you jump on the bed? Oh, are you really that tired? You are. Okay, he can't even get up on the bed. 9 hours. Alright, he needs 9 hours. We're at 95%. Enough money for the room, right, don't we? Wow. How'd we get 100,000? Hi, Russ. Coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He is so tired. We good? Did you just realize I had the game running without you? Yes, that's a dish. I'm not done with it yet. Okay. Now you are thirsty. Yes, I see you. And hungry. And we keep having the food keeps glitching out on us. Like I was saying, the food keeps glitching out on us. That's why I was started to say it. I was wondering, did it? Yeah, did it again. All right. Give you some pears. Let's try that again. There you go. You go panhandling? No. You go panhandling stuff here. That's uncommon. Would they have that in Poland? This is supposed to be an alternate reality of Poland. All those herbs that we just picked are back. Meaning I'm tempted to pick them all over again. For some reason we got vanilla flower picking, so he can pick the flowers really fast. You can see why people get upset about the loot animations, and you see how fast vanilla looting and picking is. The funny thing is, there are people who actually think the vanilla, that's the vanilla gluten. You just saw how fast it cooks. Alright, we can pick everything in under a second. It's so fast. And there are people who say it's too slow. There are people who say it's too slow. And there's a mod that actually makes it faster.
For example, one such passage will open soon near where we are,
I
fortuitously.
don't understand people's
Between this noble edifice and the butcher's yard.
instant gratification need? Is that what you would call that? I don't know what you would call that. Here, respawn looting the log too? The little log's sparkling again. Also, call our horse. We left our horse there in the stable. And you're not there in the stable anymore. So are you just sparkling again, or did you actually become relootable?
In Skellige. Follow
Looks
it.
like you're just
Mists.
sparkling again.
Hurry.
Okay.
Hurry.
Now we're on our way. On our way. We're on our way to Brunwick, but I'm trying to think. How? What do we go by to get there? Is this stuff actually lootable? Yes. Alright. There's a mod that puts all the horses from Red Dead Redemption 2 in Witcher 3 now. It's the same mod maker that made Avallac'h's Blue Cape and the dogs that we got, the brindle dogs and stuff that are with us. Same mod maker. I think we're using almost all of her mods, aren't we? She made the rat mod and the wyvern mod and the cat mod. She made a wolf mod too that made turned the wolves into huskies. We're not using that one. But and which she made a chicken mod. I'm not using the chicken mod. I think those are the only two I'm not using. I think we got every single one of her other mods on here. 3 mods, because we don't have the horse mod. Ferris Roach is the one we're using. I see lots of loot sparkles around that house over there. Oh, we should... all this stuff that we've been looting, we got a lot of stuff. Don't we have a lot of stuff that the herbalist over there will buy? We were just in his house. We should have...
Shit.
We should have sold him stuff while we were there. Our horse is still galloping improperly. I haven't done anything about that mod yet. I changed the load order for that mod and it didn't fix it, so I think it's merged incorrectly. Because I know we did remerge that particular mod. The funny thing about these wells is you can look down the wells and there's no hole there. You can see there's no hole there. There's like, you can see like the shadow that almost looks like a hole, but it's not. And the shadow on it that makes it look like a hole, that's from a mod. So, vanilla, there's no hole there, it's just the well is sitting, the wooden square is sitting on the ground. And there's a mod that makes a shadow so that you can kind of look like there's a hole in the ground, but there's a couple of wells in the game that do have a hole because there's a quest where, hey, let's climb down this well. But most of the wells in the game We've seen this before. CD Projekt Red doesn't make games with bugs in it. It's so funny. There aren't many houses that have this, and I think they're mostly in the DLC area, aren't they? This is a DLC area. I can't remember. We've seen houses that had it before. Yes, this house is okay.
You humans have unusual tastes.
Yes. Have you ever done a close-up on what he's actually holding when he says that? You can't in the game. However, you can, you know, in the texture files, open them up in the game code and look at them and like, oh my god, what the fuck? There's 4 of them. You can see 2 of them.
I can't do that at will because I'd really like to now.
Kind of, quite well, in the game, but there's 4 of them, and 2 of them you can't see very well. Yeah, you probably don't want it. The thing is, it specifically, when you read that file, it specifically says Avallac'h's drawings of naked ladies. He drew
Want to
those.
sit and wait while others risk their lives for me.
But I'm not sure that he would. Not the way he was in the novels. You have a scene of him. He is so damn mad at Geralt. He wants to kill Geralt in that scene. He's just enraged. And so that him drawing pictures like they have him drawing in the game comes from that scene, because in that scene he starts painting penises on the wall. And for some reason most people get to that scene in the novels and like, damn, he's perverted. And I'm like, did you actually listen to what he said while he did it? That's the scene where we found out a lot of things about Avallac'h, like he's asexual, he's a virgin, he thinks Geralt's insane because all Geralt can think about is sex, and he can't get Geralt's attention. Avallac'h is specifically asking Geralt, Ciri is being tortured to death, we need to go get her. And Geralt's, yeah, whiny nine cunt bitch, nah. I don't like Ciri. How much money you got? Oh, Avallac'h's homeless. You don't have any money. Well, you give me 5,000 gold coins and I'll go get Ciri for you. I said, the daddy-daughter relationship that you see in the game between Ciri and Geralt, that's not in the novels. Geralt doesn't give a shit about Ciri. He hates Ciri, and boy does he let it be known in this scene. So then we go through multiple stages of Avallac'h having a meltdown, one of which is, let's throw feces at Geralt because now we're mad. That also, why do you have feces laying around your house? You can just throw it at Geralt. That's another question that has to be asked. Where'd our horse go? Horse was just standing right there beside us.
Even fewer can locate.
Oh, we lost our horse. Avallac'h is continuing to try to get Geralt to go rescue Ciri. Ciri is being tortured quite badly. She's being ripped apart And this is when she gets a lot of her scars. She gets a lot of the scars in that scene. She is being tortured brutally. And Avallac'h's not a fighter. He can't really do much.
Not at all shy. Just wanted
There's our
something to
horse.
sit on.
He's trying to get Geralt to go rescue Ciri, and Geralt's like, yeah, no, I'd rather go get drunk with Regis. I wonder what Dandelion's doing right now. I wish I could fuck Horus with Dandelion. Geralt is just saying these things at random while Avallac'h's going on and on and on about... he can't... Avallac'h's like, you sick, crazy idiot. So he starts drawing penises on the wall to get Geralt's attention. Because the only thing Geralt cares about is sex. If you read the first sentence of the first page of the first chapter of the first novel, you know that. I mean, that's... You only have to get 10 words into the Witcher novels to... Hey! Here's the main character of the story, Geralt's penis. And then you realize, okay, this is going to be this type of a story. Here's the second main character of the novels, Geralt's erectile dysfunction. Oh look, here's the third main character in the novels, Vesemir's erectile dysfunction. Okay. Every other page for 7,000 pages you have erectile dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, erectile dysfunction. What the hell? Where's the story? There are 5,000 male characters in the novels, and they all have erectile dysfunction. They're all going to tell you about it, every single one of them. They're all going to tell you about it, and Geralt is going to yap at every one of them. Hey, I got erectile dysfunction too, let's talk about it. So, you want to get Geralt's attention? Draw penises on the wall. Then go, hey, there's a penis on the wall. Huh. That's why Avallac'h was drawing penises on the wall. Because Geralt is perverted. It's the only way Avallac'h could get Geralt's attention. Then he calls him a cockroach. Tells Geralt that he's a cockroach because humans, like cockroaches, the only thing they think about is sex, and that's the only way to get a human's attention is to do something with sex. And then he goes on, there you are doing that again. He goes on and on and on and on about how much he can't stand sex, and you have 7 pages of Avallac'h telling you all the evils of why sex is the worst thing to ever exist. And people get to the end of that and they're like, wow, is he perverted? No, he is fed up with sex-crazed lunatics. And at this specific scene, he's especially fed up with the fact that Geralt is too busy trying to figure out, how can I get out of here and go fuck more Horus with Dandelion instead of rescuing Ciri, who is going to be dead within the next hour if we don't rescue her right now. Geralt doesn't give a fuck. Geralt is a jackass in the novels. Nothing heroic about him on any level whatsoever. We don't have enough stuff to sell you. You have whinstone. I don't know if we're gonna need whinstone or not.
So long. Yes, this is where we left our horse before. Then, for some reason, our horse vanished before we came back and got you. So now we want to go to Brunwick, which is what we were already doing. Why were we having a rant about Geralt? Oh, that picture. Yeah. Well, the thing most people don't notice when those pictures, they're pictures of Ciri, also. They're not just random pictures. Avallac'h is sitting at a brothel that Ciri has left him in, drawing pictures of the girls at the brothel with Ciri's face on them, is what he's doing in that scene. And those same pictures show up again in the laboratory with other pictures of Ciri. Yeah, I just realized there's no race here. Was it the random encounters mod that was putting race here? Every time we go by here, a wraith attacks us. And no wraith. We've been back and forth through here several times in the past several episodes. No wraith has attacked us. And we're off the path now. So now I'm not sure where we are. We went off the road a little bit while I was thinking about wraiths. New marker, the crossroad. We haven't been here yet in this save file? Huh. Well, yeah, this would be a side quest, that's right. This save file we didn't do a completionist run with this save file, so a lot of stuff's not done. Is this where that place was I was thinking about the other day that I was talking about, and I couldn't remember where it was? Because this looks like it. Also, what are you stuck on? The horse is stuck, it won't move. I think we were too close to that fast travel sign. We went up a place that looked a lot like this, and then I said it wasn't right. When we get up there, it looked like the right place, but then it wasn't. And I came to the conclusion they used a lot of the same twisty trees, and so it looked like the same place, but then it wasn't the same place. I can't remember where it is. I know it's a DLC location, so I'm pretty sure it's in this area. It's somewhere in the DLC map, which is Northern Novigrad, Northern Novigrad, Northern Velen, Brunwick area. And the Square Till camp is not far from here. So if that marker is not crossed off, that means we haven't come to the Squire Till camp yet, right? Is that what that means? We should look for the Square Till camp over here, maybe? Where did you went? Oh, so long. Something is changing what the logs look like. Does RCT change the logs? Because I think we got RCT is higher than HD graphics right now, right? Isn't that what I did? No, I forgot it. I did it like an hour ago. I did just before I started this. Because I wanted to fix the trees and I was moving stuff around. There's a bear. That's right, we don't have to worry about bears anymore. Bears don't attack us anymore. To get to the Square Till camp, you have to follow. There's a dirt road you have to follow, but then it ends and you have to keep going past that and turn off. And it's not far past the crossroad. The crossroad fast travel marker that we just unlocked. We're really close to it here. But you can't see it from any type of normal location. It's not going to show up right. You have to kind of know where it is. And this bridge is there. It is. This bridge is not at front. That's what I was going to say. It's right after that bridge. Yeah, the game doesn't tell you to come up here. This is one of those areas where if you don't find it at random, you don't find it. You. I think you're the one we want to talk to. Are you the one we want to talk to? Or is that a different guy? No. We'll leave. Wait. We can't climb? I guess I guess we can jump. I forgot Avallac'h takes fire damage. But you have a letter. Move. You're in my way. Move. There we go. Letter.
Who would have saved yours then?
Which is gonna tell us ain't your brother got kidnapped or something, right? No? Did we already do it, maybe? It wouldn't let us pick up the letter. It let us pick up stuff instead of the letter. So did we do this quest already, but not the marker? Because we...
Okay.
What are we receiving stuff for? And boy, are you covered in blood and it's glitched out.
Show me what you're willing to sell.
You have some of the books. I didn't know that. I think we have all of those. But that's good to know. Also, I'm going to buy that. We'll sell you everything else. You know, it's not logical that he could buy a lot of this stuff. Since this is the Square Till merchant, why would he buy a lot of this stuff? They would buy the crafting supplies, and they would buy food. Lore friendly to their characters. That's what they would buy. They wouldn't buy... Avallac'h's gonna buy that. They wouldn't buy anything else. a lot of food we could sell you. You see, they'd buy the weapons, and they'd buy the food. And materials to make more weapons. But Square Till wouldn't buy anything else. It's not love friendly to their characters to do good. Not at all. And now the blood's all gone.
Avallac'h.
Magically gone. And you know what? We can put Avallac'h's dialogue here, can't we? Because he says the words. Some of the merchants, he says the words that Geralt says throughout the game. So we're able to take, for some of the merchants, we can take Avallac'h's dialogue and put it in place of Geralt's. That's why some merchants Geralt talks.
These are my friends.
Some merchants Avallac'h talks, and other merchants Geralt talks. What were we getting points and stuff for, though? It was acknowledging that we ended a quest here. I don't know which one it was. But when I went to pick up that letter, what I was getting ready to say, oh yeah, okay. What was that quest? I was thinking it was a different quest. When I went to pick up the letter, and I was getting ready to tell you, there's an elf that's kidnapped, and you can rescue him, and it's one of the Squire Till camps. There's more than one Squire Till camp in the game. And when I saw that letter sitting there, I assumed it was this Squire Till camp. But then it didn't let us pick up the letter. What's blood ties? Oh, that's that one. Okay. Which I want to be bitter harvest. Death by fire. Clear the doorway and free the elf. Oh, that's that one. Okay. Funeral pyres. We already did funeral pyres. That's the one I was asking about yesterday. And I was going to check. Did we do that? We already did Black Pearl? What's that one? Oh, yeah. 5 for 9. Did that. Okay. Yeah, we figured that one out yesterday. Is this area classified as Novigrad or Velvet? Empty coop. That's one about the chickens. Little Red. Dangerous Games. It's house. Okay. Feast for Crows. Is it a contract? We did the Shrieker. Okay. I never looked it up. We were wondering, did we do the Shrieker? Because we found Apian Phantom, Elusive Thief. Fortunate Turn of Events. Well, that's Avallac'h's hideout when it says Novigrad. Why does it say Novigrad? That's Avallac'h's hideout. That's the quest you do in Avallac'h's hideout. Side quest where you find the one with the bear on the roof by the front door. You over the course of doing that quest, wandering in the dark, you find a letter You find out they put something there, and when you go back, you find the guy was eaten by a bear, and there's a box there that the bear's guard, and you kill the bear, and then you take this treasure. It's not coming up. Okay, it goes. Okay, that's the lesson. That's right nearby. Well, now I'm confused because I don't see it either in one we have active or in one we finished. And when we picked up the letter, it gave us the reloot stuff, not the original letter. But then when we clicked on this guy, no, isn't the merchant the one you rescue? So he wouldn't have been here unless we did the quest. Right? Also, the word square tail means squirrel tail because they wore furs made out of squirrel tails. Why are these elves not wearing squirrel tails? Avallac'h, the word Avallac'h means fox. He wore fox fur. He was also a hermit, and he was described as looking like a wild man, not a nobleman. He was not a well-dressed nobleman. He was a wild hermit wearing fox pelts. Oberon means mink, and he wore mink furs. Eridan means sparrowhawk. He dressed in black feathers. They were very Native American in the novels.
I'm watching you.
Piss off.
Should we kill both of you?
What's up, mates?
Is there a place on the map where that could be in this area? Yeah, we already did it because it would have been here. Okay. Also, there's a lake up here. Can we go up there and... No, wrong button. Can we go up there and look at it? Or is it doesn't... I think the ground's glitched out too much. Is it that? Wait, is it that? Because I think it was like a square up in the middle of nowhere. I want to go there now and find out if it's that. Because I thought it was closer to Brunwick. What's this? Okay. We wanted to go to Heddle. What's that? So we just go straight up, go to Heddle, go here. And then the rune right's right above that. We're actually almost to the rune right, wow. Straight up is this way. Yeah, are you gonna let us run? Alright, it's gonna do its funny, not quite running. We'll do the funny, not quite running. Dead. Wait, loot log. Stop. Loot log. Always get the loot logs. They have some of the best loot in the game, man. The wolves don't attack us anymore. There's so much in the game that doesn't attack us anymore. Some of the drowners don't attack us anymore, but I don't know where. We haven't found the ones that don't attack us anymore. Marius's castle is coming up ahead of us. We want to go past that. Artemis? Is it Artemis? How do you say it? I think I'm saying it wrong. I think it's Artemis. I don't know. What are we seeing? I see something over here. Is just a reflection of the lights through the trees that I saw. I think that's what I saw. Okay. Okay, now we've run into a path. Did we want to run into a path? I don't think we did. Another wolf pack. You guys, bandits? Yeah, nice tents here. We're near, what's his name? He's like right over there. Okay, we're kind of a little bit not where we wanted to be, I think, right? Kind of a little bit, a lot, not where we want to be, I think.
Shirel, this place is no longer safe. Do not tarry here long.
Trying to figure out where are we in comparison to where we want to be. This area is near hands, whatever the rest of that title is.
We cannot allow this.
He's not exactly close to where we want to be. Alright, so stand facing this way. Let's look at a map. Okay, we ran in a circle. That's what I thought we did. Okay. That's because when we stopped at that loot log, we didn't go back the same way we were going. We got turned around. Yep, there's the bridge. Okay, we did. We got completely turned around. Yeah, because we wanted to go straight, but then we stopped and turned to get that loot log. And then we stopped and turned again for a second loot log. And we ended up turning just enough. Knickers. We ended up turning just enough to go back in circles. So we don't do that again. We make sure we look at the map when we get done here because we're stopping again. It's every time we stop. And I start up again without looking at the map and I end up going the wrong way. We spend lots of time in this game going the wrong way. We do it so often. One of the things we do most of all. You are a Neko warrior. Neko warrior mutagen. Do I see loot sparkles down there, or is that just the way the light is reflected? There should never be only 2 Neckers. The game's not coded that way. They're coded odd, so there should be 5, or 7, or 9.
I'll go see where our dearest sage is.
Oh. I hear another one. That was... Nekawara is always going to be 1, and that's always going to be in addition to. So that's 3. I hear a 4th one. There should be 5 or more. The Nekawara would be a 6th one.
As I said, this stone was to reunite a pair of worlds.
They're running away. You're chasing our, you're attacking our horse. Did you kill it? And then there's another one here, that's 5. Okay. So that should be all of them. 5 plus the Neko Warrior. Neko Warriors only ever spawn in 1. That would be in addition to whatever spawned in between. And also, I see Lula. And you need drink. Neckers aren't very often with anything like a guarded treasure, so there's probably no treasure around here. There can be multiple packs, herds, or whatever you want to call them, of Necker stuff.
Blazes, were you thinking?
So you could end up with 2 packs of 5 and a Necker warrior. 11 total. not recognize anything. I was wondering, could I tell where we are without looking at the map? But no. Okay, we're on a road, so let's stay on the road while we look at the map. That way we can tell where we are. We're really close to that. Okay. And well, that's right ahead of us. We might as well head to that. I can't remember what that quest is. I can remember parts of that quest, but I can't remember what the monster is. We're coming up on a bear. Is it a bear? No, no. It's been so long since the last time we did this quest. It's been maybe 3 years since we last did this quest. We haven't done quests in such a long time. Is it that? Okay, I do remember what that is. Wait a minute. Is that what we're going into? No, we just went right by it. Okay, that's a Leshen, and I really don't think Avallac'h would kill a Leshen. When we're playing as Avallac'h, we avoid killing Leshens just because Avallac'h classifies himself as a fauna rights activist and a protector of monsters and nature spirits, and he had a whole big rant about that in the novels. And he doesn't specifically say Leshens, but the stuff he says indicates he would include Leshens in the list of things he wouldn't hurt. Let's see. It's like we're stuck in series quest. Right over here, or did I turn the wrong way? These markers are quite far away. Oh, examine tracks. Okay, wait a minute. It's telling us to use Witcher senses. Is that a body? Is that what it's telling us to look at this dead body, right? Which is then going to lead us to the Leshen? Is that what it's doing? There's blue.
Flying monster. Gripped the second body in its claws. Didn't quite get everything to its nest.
Is that the guy that wasn't gonna pay us the money?
So, Geralt, ready?
And it was a griffin? It is, isn't it? And so it's not connected Oh, I see the Leshen. The Leshen's wandering around back there. He's way off in the distance. I don't know if you guys can see him or not. I just found a bag of chips here today. I think that was. If I move over better, can you see the Leshen? Leshens are incredibly rare. Where'd he go? There he is. He's over there now. He moved.
The other one, Caranthea, is said to be secretive and pragmatic.
Okay. So we don't want to bother the Leshen. But this clue didn't tell us anything. So there must be another clue. Alright, told us that there's a fly-in thing.
At last.
Piece by piece, follow the thread.
Now it's telling us to follow the glitch. Okay. Where'd that horse go? There you went. So we go around the Leshen, move him along. I'm thinking that Hans quest was the not the Leshen, the Griffin quest, wasn't it? Where you find a letter. You aren't the only person he hired, and he was gonna pay the other guy a lot of money, but then the other guy got. That was weird. The other guy got killed by the Griffin, and so you found the letter on the other guy. And you have the option to just go pick up the money. Was this Aramis? Is that his name? Okay, this is Aramis's house. Which is a huge, long, big, detailed quest, but I don't feel like doing right now. This is the one. If you collect all the pieces of this quest, there are several quests, they're all connected to this guy. The house used to have a tower. You can find the tower in Skellige, the Seago Butts quest. And the tower came from this building. And then you can find those statues and you can take them to Triss. Statues also came from this building. The elven crossbow that you can buy came from this building. The merchant tells you a story about how he got it.
The Maltese Falcon also came from that building. It is the Griffin class. There you are. I wasn't planning to do that. Are you going to attack us and force us to fight you? Are you dead? From us not doing anything? Other than having exploding Quen turned on? Oh, this is the volcanic griffin, right? Okay, cutscene. I forgot some monsters do that. This was a trophy monster.
Let's stay a bit longer.
Did you move us? We're not where we were. Where were we? It moved us. We were quite a distance away from, because we were just leaving the area.
Palace of Awakening, formerly the Moon Palace. Gel's headquarters.
There was something laying on the ground. I was on my way over to pick it up. There was a loot thing laying there. And then we looted the griffin. And it changed our location because it was a trophy monster. And it took us back to where we were supposed to kill the griffin. I think if we go up and loot the nest, I think that's where we find that letter, right? So, I guess while we know where it is, we should go up here and look for the nest. It's up on this rock, I think. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, we were supposed to follow the trail of blood up here. And fight the griffin up here. We weren't supposed to just run away from it. So I don't know, did we not find that letter because we did the quest wrong? Would not have seen these guys if they didn't have a campfire. They were kind of hidden quite well. Do they have any type of treasure or something? Bandits hidden like this usually do. No. Keep that on scene. We can see where it is.
Here. Oh, is it the Leshen birds?
Seems to me you have a plan. Care to share it with us?
Let's see. Did we pick up any letters? We didn't pick up anything that we haven't already read. That book was written by Avallac'h, that's why we kept it. What's that? Wherever it went. Would have gone down near the bottom. No. No. If we click through all of these, so there was only two. Third one didn't have anything. Second one didn't have anything. Now we got a bunch of them. And this page in order to click on them. There we go. So it gave us 19 new ones that we had not read. Lamb with 2 eggs. That's not all of them though. How do we get the rest? I can't remember. Is there an add notes? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't appear that it added anything. No. Hey. I don't want that there. Wait a minute. Where's what we had? What's breath of hunter do? Wrath of Storms isn't the one we had, is it? Wasn't it Summoned Storms? Summoned Storm. So what's this one, John? Okay.
Want me to sit and wait while others risk their lives for me?
Does it? Did it actually do anything? I don't know. I think we need to have an enemy nearby for it to trigger, it looks like. Alright. Continuing on. Which way? Were we going? Because I think we've gotten turned around. Yes, we have. Quite a lot. Oh, it completely turned us around then. It moved us. It teleported us from where we were when the griffin landed on us and died, and it teleported us back to the griffin nest. Completely different place. Because we were up by Aramis? How's how do you say his name? We were up there. So it was the Leshen birds that we heard then too. When I heard that sound, I was like, "What was it?" It was Leshen birds, because that's what I was saying. It sounded like. I didn't think we were that close to the Leshen. It moved us back right beside the Leshen. I just heard series for screen. Is that a loot log that's lootable? Okay. Which way are we going again? Oh, we needed to go to Vikk Tower, which I think is that. Willie's. Okay. I don't want to do that one. I don't remember what you were. We want that one, and that one, and that one. So we want to turn a little bit. That one I said I don't want to do that one right now. That'll trigger a cutscene if we get too close to it. So we want to kind of not get too close to it. I tried to turn the horse around and the camera turned around, but the horse... There is something big flying over our head. Okay, that was... It triggered there, so we did have to have an enemy.
Which does not mean it will be easy to execute.
Is that a wyvern or a fork-tailed? There's a draconid nest right near here, and we apparently got close. Ooh, we got almost close enough for a cutscene. There's the cutscene right there. That little building right there. That would have triggered a cutscene. Those lights, how far away we can see them now. Feels like a little monolith sacred circle thing, and they turned it into a campsite. Which probably was originally part of that building. Where did that building go? That building I was just pointing to that I got turned around. I don't know where it is now.
Anyone home?
Because that's Elven Ruins. Can you climb up on this? No, not slide. Climb. Why are you sliding? Climb. Can't climb on it? You usually climb up on this. Well, climb up on this one instead. There you go. That building over there is Elven Ruins. It's close enough that this could have been like maybe a lookout tower to go with it. It fell apart. Where'd the draconid go? I didn't see if it was a wyvern or a forktail. Yeah, see that building up there. There it is, I see it. That building up there is a cutscene. There you are. There you are. Where you... Wait, it's one of each? Are they fighting each other? That's a royal wyvern. That's a forktail. There was one of each. They don't nest together. I think at the nest, isn't there a box at the nest? But are we that close to the nest? I'm confused. Where is the nest? We should be able to see it on the map. there's no. The nest
As I
has
said, this stone
the
is too
nest
long.
has a fast travel at it, and if it's I think the only fast travel in the game that triggers a cutscene, a fast travel related cutscene. It's what's his name? Not all geared. I was thinking it's all geared's the name. My brain's going all geared, and I know it's not all geared. Okay, that's the one we want to avoid because that is a very long quest. That's a quest that's well over an hour. Once it triggers, you're locked into it and you can't get back out of it. So we don't want to do that right now. We probably could do it in a few days or so, but not. Vikk Tower. Okay, Vikk Tower is the one I thought this was. Okay. There is a place with a wyvern and a forked tail, and it is in this area. But I don't see the marker for it on the map. Okay, before we fall off a cliff, wait a minute. Before we hidden treasure, yeah, I know. Before we go to the room, right, we need to go here. Part of the harpies. That's right, this is an area that has harpies. Air Force One. What's the name of the quest? It says Air Force One in it. What is it? It's the Royal... Royal Air Force? And it says something about Air Force One in one of the letters, I think. Can't remember. It's the one with the mad scientist who... very Island of Dr. Moreau type of quest. Is this the mad scientist here? This is his assistant. I think the mad scientist's body's in the lab. Nicholas Vogel. Acquired the eggs, cost a fortune. Gone to hell, all that stuff. Yeah, if you read this book here, it tells you the whole story. The Royal Air Force, that's the name of the quest. He was doing tests with DNA,
Travelled.
you know,
Time,
because
space.
it's medieval
Different
times
worlds.
and they know about DNA.
Saw houses of glass.
It's not medieval times in the novels.
Even lived in an undersea kingdom for a time.
It is 1,251 years after the event that caused the apocalypse. In the novels, it's not medieval world. It is very much a sci-fi, cyberpunk world. They have computers and cell phones. And Siri wears hooker boots.
I never doubted you.
Toledos.
But why did you? You might have just asked.
They have microchip things in their heads. Witcher novels are more like cyberpunk game than the Witcher game is. That's why people were expecting Ciri to be in Cyberpunk. She is in Cyberpunk if you look for her. I know where to find her. Also. And Geralt has a boat in Cyberpunk. You'll know it if you see it. Boy, will you know it if you see it. Strangest looking boat you've ever seen. I'm gonna lit up here because I saw some die here. When to get the loot expires. Wait, is this looking to purchase harpy eggs? Yeah, we are in the other place, right? Eat lots of harpy eggs in the other place, right? More loot. Yeah, I want to get all the loot here. That was why we came here. There's specific loot all the way up at the top that we need to give to Runewreck. We have to go all the way to the top of the tower to get it. It's the very, very, very top of the tower.
What? Do you fear I'll level this place like I did Kaer Morhen?
Great.
Geralt's suddenly talking. It triggered him to talk. Oh, wow, bodies. This way he was talking about, right? Okay. We got fog coming in here. Oh, more bodies over here? Yeah, lots of bodies. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Very good. On time.
Yeah, he came to this conclusion. If you read the book, I think there's more, do you find more than one book? I think there are like 3 books you find here or something. If you read the whole thing anyways, it tells you this whole story. He came to a conclusion that humans, evolved from birds. He has more of his book here. There's more of it. If you read all these books you collect in this location, the scientist who's behind all this stuff came to the conclusion that people evolved from birds, and that harpies were proof of that, because they were like half bird, half human. And so
I beg to
he
differ.
decided
Emir is a pragmatist.
he
Syrian
could
idealist.
reverse evolution and make human bird people. Basically, he wanted to make the same thing as a harpy, but intelligent with the brain of a human. So he wanted to make humans who could fly. And he was kidnapping people. He was buying harpy eggs. And
Oh yes.
he was
Yeah,
raising
the blood can be
harpies,
fine.
and he was kidnapping people, and he was doing the Island of Dr. Moreau thing where he was taking the DNA from people and mixing it with the DNA from harpies and making harpy human hybrid things, and it all went wrong and the harpies revolted, and at some point he said like the harpies became more intelligent. I can't remember. The harpies all revolted anyways and killed everybody, and they all ended up dying. And that is a gallows up there, that thing. The scene where Avallac'h was mad at Geralt because Geralt wouldn't go get Ciri. That scene tells us that Avallac'h has a computer with him. You know, again, not very medieval in the novels. And he's showing Geralt he's got a security camera that he's hacked into that's at Vilgefort's castle. And the security camera is on Ciri to make sure she doesn't escape. And Avallac'h is showing Geralt on her computer screen. Ciri is in one of those. She's naked. There's 8 men under it, each holding hot pokers and shoving them up her vagina. Which is why the topic ends up going to sex, because Avallac'h's pointing out she's fertile. She's the last fertile female left in the universe. She's never going to have any babies
Well,
if they
son
continue
just
doing
died.
this.
I barely reached the next
But that
passage
is
in
what
time.
Ciri is in. She's hanging in one of those. That is a gallows. Usually people are so horrified by Avallac'h's obsession with ovaries that they don't pay attention to why he's obsessing with ovaries in that scene. They're trying to burn her ovaries out of her. That's what they're doing. Vilgefortz has got this machine that he made that he can put women in, and it extracts all their eggs, and he can make babies in jazz. They said the stuff they were saying in the game that they were saying Avallac'h did. Avallac'h's not the one. There was a mage doing that stuff, but it wasn't Avallac'h. It was Vilgefortz. In the novels, Vilgefortz was the one that had all the women in jars and stuff.
No, it means that I was young and
And
drunk.
Ciri was one of them.
And it happened.
And that's what was going
This
on.
is not terribly visible.
He was in the process of putting Ciri through that. Oh, this is that. Okay, wait. We have to get you exactly in the right spot for you to reach this one. Yeah, this quest. This quest here. In the first Avallac'h playthrough, we couldn't do this quest. Avallac'h is enough shorter than Geralt that when he jumps, he can't reach that thing we just jumped on. He can't reach it. So I had to make a mod that allowed Avallac'h to jump up to this location, because this is a quest you have to do to get the rune right in the game. That's the whole reason we're here. We're on our way back to the rune right to finish his quest, and we need to take an item to him. We need to take it to his buddy there, who I can't remember their names. And Avallac'h is stuck on a rock. This is the one that Avallac'h used to have trouble with. I know he can do it. We've had him do it before. Yeah, we'll get him up there. Vanilla, just swapping out Avallac'h with Geralt. He can't make it up here on his own. He's too short. He is not tall enough to make that jump. We had to make a mod to make him able to jump higher than he should be able to jump. Just for this quest. And there's the box we need. What did we need? It's in this, I know it's in this box. Payrog! That's what we needed. There it is. So we gotta take Payrog back to Grimright. So Tavrog is the one we already got. Payrog and Tavrog. Can you not die? You jump down funny.
Want me to sit and wait while others risk their lives for me?
Ciri was perfectly okay with sitting and waiting and demanding others risk their lives for her. In the novels. Characters are so different in the game than they are in the novels. It's rather amazing how
As
different
am I.
they are too.
Shall we ride?
Especially Ciri. Of any character that is different in the novels from the game, I think Ciri is the most different. Oh, so it's Vikk Tower, right? Not Vikk Tower?
Don't treat me like a child.
I'm calling it Vikk Tower, but I think it's actually Vikk Tower. So we got everything we need for the last set of room right stuff now. Because I think, that was the last one we were missing. That was the whole reason I said we need to come here. Can you get that? You can get that. Alright.
It's simple, which does not mean it will be easy to execute.
Yeah, this quest And wait, there's a corner over here. Is there anything hidden in it, is it? Why are you stuck on things? You're stuck on things. We didn't come over this way. I like checking to make sure there are no things we missed. Because sometimes you go around these back... Look how foggy it is. Sometimes you go around these back ends of things and you find treasure things in them. And also, I just realized his fatigue levels are real high. So...
Cyril will wait, at a safe distance from the non-reflector.
Boy, we can't see with this fog. Let's go back in the building and meditate. Okay, that's not a place we can go back in. Do we have to go all the way back around to the back in the building? Can you climb up here? You can climb up here. That's a long way down. Can you jump down there and not die? That's like twice the height
Avallac'h
you just
tried to
climbed
teach
up.
me how to control my ability. He was also making sure I didn't fall into Eriton's hands.
And just slide you down? Okay, we've done that before and it worked. I can't let you down. There must be a place in here we can meditate safely. There's a rug. Wait, we'll meditate on this rug. We need 6 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close to being over. Okay, now you need a drink. And you need to eat. There we go. Now we can travel again. Also, how long has it been? 2 hours and 18 minutes. So we probably got time to make it to the room right and then stop at the room right. Start the next episode after that. Yeah, that was yes, I put him, I had him go over towards the corner where that stuff was piled up. You can okay, that's not what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to jump on that corner and climb up the rest of the way.
Blazes, were you thinking?
What's this thing that looks like a cave here? It's just a glitch, I think, right? It's not actually a cave. Yeah, it's just a glitch. I suppose we can climb up a pile of dead bodies. That doesn't seem to bother Avallac'h. Because, you know, he has piles of dead bodies like this. Even though Cyril refused to acknowledge that. She was horrified by it. And then Starry is like, look, this, Avallac'h did this, the fox did that. And she said, no, Aaron did. Avallac'h wouldn't do that. Avallac'h's kind of crazy. You get the impression he would do things like that. He wasn't exactly sane. Okay, so where? Oh, you know what? It was so windy up there that we couldn't see anything while we were up there. And I wanted to look around and see where that was because I know it's nearby. But there's no marker for it on the map. The road goes to it, though. If we follow the road, we'll come out at it. What road are we following right now? Where are we? Wait a minute. Let's go to the map. confused myself. What are you? What are you? Is that it? I don't think that's it. What's this? There's another one there. Okay, wait, there's another one it says. And that's Erde. So... This isn't herbalist there. That ain't the one we was looking for, is it? There was an herbalist that I said, and I couldn't remember where he was, and I was trying to remember, was he an herbalist or an alchemist? He's somewhere in North Velen. Not North Velen. North, where we are now. Northern Novigrad. But I thought he was closer to Yantra. We were looking around there. We were looking... Oh, wild horses. We were looking around Yantra for him. That point up there should be high enough that we can see around and see where the Draconid point is. It ain't up there, is it? Somehow we... There it is. Yes, it is up here. Because there they are. Why did they end up down there and attack us? I was right, it was up here. Back there, we were back at the bandit camp, and I said I thought it was over here. And I was wondering, why did they attack us down there? Because I thought we were too far away for them to attack us. It was over here, because here they are. Yeah. There's a Draconid nest here. And it's an actual nest, so they keep Ow! I wasn't trying to kill you. New marker, monster nest. Okay. Oh, you landed on a body. We just looted flowers off this body. Okay. Oh, are these all men who came up here to impress women by bringing them a dragon head? That's why they're carrying bouquets of flowers. There's a lot of that sort of thing happening in Orchard franchise. So this is, yes, it's a nest we can destroy. If we don't destroy it, though, they keep spawning back in, so we won't destroy it. Is that it? There it is. I can see it. I see it. It's over there. The one that's actually called Draconid Point or something like that.
In that case,
it's right there. I can see it from here. So we want to get on our horse. Avoid killing any more draconids. Is Avallac'h a draconid? He's a giant serpent. And the brooch he wears, which in the novels was a snake. Not a scarab beetle. But the pendant brooch thing that he... Draken Hollow, there's the name of it. The name just came out. There should be a marker for it somewhere. There's another one. Yes, see? This is where the forked tail and the wyvern should have been. Why did they attack us back there? That was so far away. They glitched out and were here. I see at least 2 of them. We can't unlock the fast travel without getting close enough to kill him, right? And I kinda don't want to kill him. I just want to unlock the fast travel. Can we run by and get the fast travel unlocked? And you guys not attack us? Dragonita Hollow outpost just came up. No, you didn't want you guys to stop fighting them. We're gonna go back this way. So now we're right into Leshen territory, right? We're near that place, aren't we? Isn't it right over there? Wait. That's the Avallac'h estate. Is there a road right here? There's lots of roads right here. That question mark. Is that it? Okay, Drake and Hollow outpost did go up. We completely missed the herbalist. Is it this question mark? And not this question mark? This question mark's the one we were aiming at. I don't know. Alright, turn around, go down that road. Is it that road? Wait a minute. Look at the map again. I'm so not good at reading maps. No? No? Straight ahead. Okay. Straight ahead. Still straight ahead? Still straight ahead. Bandit camp. Not interested in the bandit camp right now. That's Vikk Tower again. Okay. Which I think I'm saying wrong. I think it's Vikk Tower, I think. Okay, so the bandit camp was the question mark. Alright. So this question mark, I still think is the place we're looking for. Based off the square building that looks like ruins, I think that's the one we want. And is this the Elven Ruins that I can't remember the name of? That's near here too, ain't it? But we want that guy, so we want the bigger and then the smaller. Why'd you pull that out? Alright, for some reason I like Smith. Friday's horse was Naginata. The bigger road? That goes. I don't know. Oh, that wagon we needed. Didn't we need that? Wasn't that a thing on our list of stuff to do for the rune right? Yes, it
I
is.
wanna look around some.
What are you doing? What?
I don't want anything to do with you.
Okay.
Whoa, greetings.
There's the
Bloody
button.
fight, looks like. Folk in the tavern didn't stand a chance. Tracks lead north.
The training I did with Avallac'h was very helpful.
Okay. I clicked on that to track it, and it didn't track it. Is it a Witcher contract? Or a secondary quest? Or a treasure hunt? It's a treasure hunt. Okay. Oh, so we still got 2 more to do. Okay, I thought the one at Vikk Tower was the last one. No, we still got 2 more. So we need that. Now will it let us do it? Alright, can we do it from our horse? I'd like to ride a horse. Where's he loot sparkles? Wait, I wanna go. Where? You have a merchant here? No flute sparkles. Wait, where is the merchant that we were looking for? Is it here? No, he's up there. Okay. Alright, go back over here. Do one thing at a time because I get sidetracked so easily. Alright, can we... Yes, we can follow it from the horse.
Trail's gone cold. Need to look around. See if I can pick it up again.
This one you need to click on?
Avallac'h. He
Someone
prepared some
was
special
wounded.
ordnance for me.
Started bleeding heavily.
This is one of those quests that requires us to use Witcher senses. We can't be like, oh, I know where this is. Let's go on our own. No, we have to use Witcher senses. That's somewhat annoying.
Wonder what this means. Took a traveler hostage, I guess. Blood trails the hostages. Must have been a burden if they left him here to die. Lost the trail. Gotta look around for something else.
You can't use all these blood things.
Found it.
There it
Leads
is.
this way.
Anything to click on? No? Alright. Back on our horse. You can see these footprints on the ground if you just look at the ground.
As regards the
You don't need
Oath of
Witcher
Blood,
senses.
You're
But
aware City is exceptional. I am alone.
it requires you to have the Witcher senses turned on, otherwise it won't work. The quest won't do its thing. Okay. triggering a cutscene.
Trail ends here. Dirt and ground cover concealing a hatch. Secret passageway.
I don't remember this cutscene. Okay. Remember to use ladder. Kind of like dies when he falls off a ladder. Lights to change. Change lights. This game doesn't have bugs. That is known as the ladder bug. The Heart of Stone DLC's most notorious bug that they haven't yet fixed after all these years. Well, we're at 2 hours and 37 minutes. 2 hours and 37 minutes. That's close enough to 3 hours to... I'm going to stop here. Go to the bathroom. Get a drink. Check the fish. Probably will start the next episode in a few minutes. Probably. What time is it? 7:39 a.m. So if we start the next episode, it's gonna run over Rascal's medicine time, right? We plan on 3 hours. Okay. I'll have to figure that out. Alright. Well, I'll stop here. Most likely I will start the next episode in a few minutes, but you never know. I seem to be stuck in a I can't do more than 2 or 3 hours of anything at a time. Anything, not just making videos. The act of sitting up and doing anything, just sitting up and sitting in the chair, it completely exhausts me. This last episode before this one, I was going to come back. I had ended it and I was like, you know what? I'm tired. We'll stop here. I'm going to go take a nap. I'll come back in the afternoon. That didn't happen. Because I went to take a nap. I planned, 2 or 3 hour nap. Then I get up to the next episode. When I woke up, 12 hours had gone by. I was asleep for 12 hours. So my 2 hour nap turned into 12 hours, and that's why I didn't come back immediately. That's also why I can't do streaming on Twitch, in addition to other issues with, psychopaths that won't leave me alone in chat. But it is just so difficult for me to guarantee what time I can come on. I can't have a schedule. I've never had a thing like this before. This is so bizarre. I am just so tired. Everything makes me so tired. Just sitting up makes me tired. I will stop here and see you in the next episode, whenever that is.